The caliber of employees you have, really, at the end of the day, is what determines the performance of the enterprise. You will have your strategic plans, you will have your budgets, you will have the plan to deliver, but at the end of the day, by and large, it is delivered by people on the job.
And so if somebody denies you education, they have denied you everything. But if somebody gives you education, they have given you everything except a ticket to heaven.
By the time I finished my secondary school education, I had a balance of almost 100,000. I was working at a workshop. I was paid 200 shillings per day. I used to save that money to reduce the fee balance that I had.
We have a funding gap of about 4.9 billion. If actually we don't get a form of financial intervention, this year only, we are looking at about 94,000 students who have already expressed interest in terms of being funded, going without any funding for this year.
We are happy that the government has identified education as a priority in this country. So we get some good resources coming our way, but they are not adequate. And we have looked at it. We are in a program where we want also to partner. We look around, who else can support this kind of mandate so that each and every Kenyan student can access that education.
So we started with a small partner fund of USAID, and we were trying to get into a space that we have never been before, that is educating the healthcare workers, that is the nurses, who are work behind the doctors, because for every doctor you require about 10 nurses. Today we have educated about 38,000 nurses in that category. I'm very happy to report that about 10,000 of that category of healthcare workers have since graduated and now repaying their loans.
For us to onboard a partner, the first thing is we sign a service contract. The service contract will detail the obligation of the funder and the obligation of now HELB as the fund manager. And then we agree on the terms of the engagement, and it's from that the funding usually comes to HELB.
When we started the college in 2012, we already had a problem knowing that the community we're in might not be able to access or be able to come to this college. So when we made HELB in 2014, for us it was connection the first time, and we made the details. And I remember the following year when we had our graduation, we invited them to come and we handed them a check of 1.2 million shillings. And from that humble beginning, right now we have, I would say, a portfolio with the help of about 24 million shillings.
These students, once they graduate, they're available, as I've said, to provide services, health services in some of the remote areas. Especially when it came to COVID, we saw a demand for health workforce in some of these regions, and the pool was already available. The health workers who had graduated from Afya Elimu were already available.
Formal education is really well established in Kenya, with many universities that have cropped up all over Kenya. Technical education, on the other hand, is not available so well. And if you go back to countries like Germany and Austria, they have a technical program where when kids come out of high school, they either go into the technical side or they go into a more formal side. And we have basically taken that example and trying to use the knowledge that we have and the expertise we have to train young underprivileged kids to become technically efficient. And in this way, by giving them that skills, they can go out and earn a living into the market.
We aspired to be able to place the blue economy where it's on self-drive, light a fire that can never be put off. And I think we are getting there. That, when you begin to get to see the sector getting integrated into our national economic plans, when you begin to see programs that deliberately target to develop the sector, then you begin to see that the sky is the limit.
The HELB loan imesaidia sana, sio karo tu, hata kwa mitihani. No one can defer or have an excuse of money because HELB has catered everything.
We have tried to recruit more counties and constituencies. And our message to them is, most of them have one form or another of bursary and financing. So we say, why reinvent the wheel when there's already a state institution that can help you do the job?
As counties, we don't have enough capacity, especially in assessing the needs that we have within the community. As much as we are giving bursaries to students in high school and even in colleges, we have found it a bit challenging.
We realize that some students get inadequate allocations. The needs of that student for accommodation, for feeding, and other books and other things is much more than that. So we thought if we could top up a little as a county through the HELB program, and that's why we have collaborated with the HELB program. Through that program, we can be able to enhance the loan available.
We set up a task force. One of the recommendations that we realized was that a lot of our people that were going to university were dropping out because they did not have any support. We decided to start contributing a certain amount of money every year. I think it was 20 million every year to a maximum of about 100 million to set up a revolving fund, so that this revolving fund would help the other students that were not getting loans from the HELB loans. So this was count loans.
If you know anything about HELB, you know they've been there for years. They've done this for years. They have a track record for years about administering this sort of a fund. And therefore, for the Council of Legal Education Fund to be able to benefit from that sort of sustainability and stability from HELB is invaluable to us. I would want to assume that any beneficiary of the fund would feel the responsibility to pay back for purposes of ensuring that the person that comes after you 5 or 10 years would be able to find something there.
The future of our organization is bright in terms of internal mechanisms. We are continuously improving. We have invested heavily on IT. We have a call center so that you don't have to come to anniversary towers. You know, those queues you used to see.
In our vision, what we are looking for is that maybe in another decade or so, we should have, for example, an orphan come to North Coast without anything and is given a loan to invest in his own education, learn and pay back.
Employers work in very close partnership with HELB. We are represented on the HELB board. I sit on the HELB board. And we ensure that people who are working in the formal sector repay the loans that they get from HELB.
I'm the first person to join college in my family, so I'm proud of it. I'm going to change the story of my family. The school has been supporting me through CHPF funds, and I applied for HELB. I got HELB 3 times now, and it has been of help to me till now.